Hi, and welcome to another episode of Starting From Scratch. I'm Mark the Window Cleaner, the show brought to you by windowcleaningresource.com. Now, if you watched the last couple of episodes, you'll see that I've done a couple of repairs using the GlassRenu system. I started off first with a little glass slider window. The last episode I took some acid etch graffiti off of a sliding mirror door. And in particular, if you watch that last episode, you'll note that I got to this certain point that the results weren't happening for me. I took a break. I called up GlassRenu. I spoke to some support there in the form of Cole, who's the head trainer over there. And before I go on to any other topics, I think it's only fair that I sort of share with you some of the tips that I've picked up to help get me through that repair, as well as what has benefited me in doing a third repair. Did one about a week ago, and that one turned out perfect. And it was thanks to these tips that I've picked up. I also want to thank Doug McDonald, also known as the Legend of Doug, on the forums there at windowcleaningresource.com. He was very helpful too. I contacted him specifically because I know he's a fairly new user. I think he got the system back in the last fall, so just a few months ago. And I wanted to get kind of his perspective too. Call GlassRenu, hear the expert explaining some tips, but it's also good to hear from another new user, just like you guys are hearing from me now. So I'm going to go over a few tips that will help you get that perfect repair. Now, first of all, as window cleaners, we have this mindset, and I'm sure you'll agree, that any extra minute or whatever spent in front of a window is money out the window, basically. We want to spend as little time as possible. We go from window to window to window. Helps our hourly return, if you will. And this is the kind of mentality that you really have to just kind of throw out the window. Keep using the window as an analogy there. Because this type of repair, you have to have patience. It's not just window cleaning, just piece of glass, 4 frames, move on. Piece of glass, four frames, move on. You have to take your time, and we're going to go into pricing. I have it scheduled. I think pricing is going to be the next episode to explain to you why pricing is different in this kind of service compared to a cleaning service, where it's just time is money kind of thing. But for now, your mindset is take the time to do the nice proper repair, especially in the beginning as you're learning the system. So first of all, if you've watched the other episodes, you know there's 3 steps. There's the grinding out the damage, there's the pre-polishing, and then the final polishing. Now, on my 2 repairs that I have on video that you've seen already, both cases I've spent way too long having to polish at the end, and it would have saved a lot of time had my skills been up to par on the first 2 stages. So what we're going to go over, we're going to take step by step what should be going on, and where I think I've kind of gone wrong, and what I've done to improve that. So here's our little slider window again. This is a different one. Now, let's assume for a moment that the repair is right in here. First thing you got to do is, yes, you know where the repair area is, but you can't get too fixated on it. If you do, you're going to just be working that area too much and not thinking enough about opening up the repair, which eliminates the distortion that you can get after doing scratch removal. So that's one thing. The other thing is how much pressure to put on the pad onto the glass. A great way of thinking this, really nice and simple, is apply enough pressure to have the disc flat on the glass, and that's it. Don't press any harder, don't pull up any lighter, and especially don't change your pressure throughout the course of the repair. This is especially true for when you're new and you just want to get a nice even repair. I'm sure some of the pros have been doing this for 2-3 years. Maybe they have their own thing, but for now we just want to get a nice even repair. So starting from the repair, the damaged area, the disc we apply on there, and we take it nice and steady. Now, a good word that I keep hearing a lot of the times is methodical approach, or methodical. You have to have a methodical approach to this. If you're just all over the place, all over the glass and saying, well, I'll do some here, some there, whatever, you're going to have problems. Same with that pressure thing, using uneven pressure. You just want to go over the damaged area a few times, a little bit at the bottom, a little bit at the top, and open up the repair. If you need to go over that section again, just nice and steady. Even my hand right now is probably going a little bit too fast for a beginner. Just nice and steady. Don't even think about really that damaged area too much, because you're just going to put, like I said, too much time in that area, too much pressure in that area. And this is really key, because what I'm finding is that on my first repair, I was just saying to myself, it's got to go a little bit faster than this. And as a result, I think I put a lot of pressure in the center of the damaged area, because looking at the glass from the angle, I'm getting all kinds of uneven hills and valleys. So this is what you don't want. You want nice and even. So as you continue to open up, nice and even, nice and steady, methodical. And another thing you can do too is, if the damage isn't coming out as quick as you'd like, be patient, but also change, from side to side. Then you can, do a few passes up and down. And, again, just tackling it at a different direction can make a difference. Once you open up the repair to be equal to the amount of time that you're spending going over the damaged area, it should be on an average, if you're using the black disc, should be a couple of times larger than the actual damage area. So the damage area is here. We're going to want to have it open up like that there. That'll eliminate distortion. Another reason important before I move on to the next stage, the reason why you want to do it nice and even pressure throughout is because if you do put a little extra pressure here and there, because you really want to get that damaged out, you end up with a lot of swirl marks. And swirl marks are really hard to get out, and the less time you have to worry about that, the better. So let's move on now to stage 2. Stage 2 is a very strange stage. It's called the pre-polish stage. And I think a lot of newcomers to glass restoration with the GlassRenu system don't really fully understand it at first. There's actually two things going on. First thing is, you're still grinding because you're using a disc that is capable of grinding. It's just not as coarse as a black disc or a red disc. So that grinding that you're doing, for the most part, you're trying to grind out the evidence from the first stage. Any swirl marks that may have occurred, any lines or any signs of uneven pressure or anything. That's what you're trying to grind out. And if you got a large area, again, like in the first stage, when you're grinding, every once in a while you need to clean off the glass stock off the pad, give you a nice fresh pad again. You might want to do it once or twice on a large area with the pre-polished disc. If we're still working on a small area, you can just skip that and let it fill up with glass stock. Filling up with glass stock does a couple things. First of all, as you're going and you're filling up with glass stock, like I say, you're taking out signs of the grinding from the stage 1. But secondly, once you hit the point where your pad is completely covered in glass stock, you've got this sort of like buffer in between the pad and the glass, which actually works like a polishing state. I mean, that's why they call it pre-polish, because you're actually polishing before you actually polish. And you can actually feel, it's almost like a little pulse you feel in the pad and when you're working the machine. And that lets you know that you're at that stage when you can turn up the grinder to a 5 or 6 and go over and just skim over that repair area, then get the speed right up to 6, and you can go right around the edge, making sure that there's no hard transition between the repair area and the untouched glass. And that's how you finish off, basically. So, I mean, the pre-polish, like I said, has two steps. One is grinding out evidence from the last stage, as well as a polishing before you polish. Now, if you've done that, you shouldn't see any more swirl marks at all. You should just see a little bit wispy on the edges, and that's it. And the entire repair area should just look like fogged glass. It shouldn't look like you've been grinding it. It should look like somebody, for whatever reason, just fogged up that section of the glass. If you get to that stage, perfect. Now it's time to move on to the polishing. Now, the polishing shouldn't take you that long. provided that the first steps you've done properly. Like I said, I've spent a little extra time polishing, probably more than I should have. But since I picked up some of these tips from GlassRenu, and like I said, I contacted Doug McDonald there. He was a big help to me too. First thing you want to do, your approach to polishing is this. The edge between where you haven't done any repair to where your repair ended. That is what, you can call that the critical edge. And as Cody mentions in Cody from GlassRenu, as he mentioned in a couple of his videos, getting that edge polished out nicely, that sells the repair. If you can do that, and it basically looks like there's no sign of a repair being done here. So you want to work on the edges first. Now, I found in my last repair that I've done, this is one that didn't get on videotape, I actually chopped up the repair area into 4 sections. So imagine this was a square or a rectangle or even a circle. What I did was I divided it into 4 sections. I divided it to the top, side left, side right, and bottom. And so I'd start at the top. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to start off with a slow speed. You see me spray the solution onto the pad. So basically, after you've done that and you've roughed up the pad there, what you want to do is you want to spread the polish around the area that you plan to focus on during that first initial stage. So like I said, I divided from the top, sides, and bottom. So I spread it out throughout the top, and then once it's nice and spread out in the area that I'm going to be working on, I turn the speed up between a 3 and 4. Actually, I found 4 to be a little bit better. And so what I would do is I'd concentrate on that edge. I'd go over, back and forth, up and down, and they also recommend that you do this kind of vigorous sort of sawtooth pattern across. Very good for getting at that edge. So I do that back and forth, and each time you're kind of working yourself towards the middle of the repair. Okay? When you're satisfied with that it's nice and clear, then you can go work on your side. Again, get the polish on the pad. Again, just work the side, work my way into the middle, back and forth, up and down, do that sawtooth pattern, again working your way into the middle eventually. Then the right side, do the same. Then the bottom, and bring that up. And when you're pretty much sure you've got it nice and polished, you can just take the cleaner that they've given you, or like I said, with window cleaners, we have our own cleaning solution. Clean up that window. Now look at this glass from every angle possible. In fact, even take a break. It's a good time to take a break. Go grab a drink from your lunch pail or a snack bar or whatever. Come back, because now is a good time for you to see it with fresh eyes again, because you've been staring at this glass for half an hour, 45 minutes, hour maybe. You want to just maybe come back to it with fresh eyes, take a look at it. You'll probably see something, maybe not. Maybe you hit it right on, perfect. But if you do see anything, again, you just be calm, nice deep breath, start methodically again. Say, this is the area I want to tackle, this is how I'm going to approach it, and just work on it a little bit more. But like I said throughout this video, the first and second step, if you do things properly through those steps, this last step is really rather quick. And the last repair I did, I was really, really happy with how short a time it took to do the polishing. And I want to bring your attention to this little pamphlet, this little 2-page pamphlet here. This basically are a bunch of tips, instructions. Comes with the glass renewal kit. If you've watched the very first episode where I open up the kit and I explain what's in it, I've mentioned this here. Just reading this over a couple of times, it's just like all of a sudden things start clicking. It's like little bells going off. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember that now. Oh yeah, this is what I should do. So anyway, you've got the support of from GlassRenu. You've got the support from my videos. Just like what I did there, I contacted another window cleaning resource forum member, and he helped me out with some of his tips. Alex from Window Cleaning Resource, he's been doing scratch repair for several years now, and you can call up windowcleaningresource.com. They're another great support system.